And so here we are, April is moving along, and as it does, and as our focus for the month is really self-awareness, and today we're looking at really being here now, because it's always now, it's always today. There is no other day, really, except today. And today is producing tomorrow, and whatever that's going to be like will be produced out of what we're chiseling in our minds and consciousness as thought. Which brings us to the understanding that you and I have the opportunity to realize, deeply and truly realize, that our lives are changing. There's a new landscape to our life and living. And it's a very uncertain and unsure landscape that we're navigating right now. But we're moving through it. We're moving through it. And our guidance now is an unseen guidance. It's an intuitive guidance. It is the true and real guidance that mostly we ignore in times of plenty and fullness and when everything is okay. But now we are in the wilderness, and we do have that great light to guide us through it once we're attuned to it. And that's what we're all about right now, in this time, in this month especially, and in this day in particular. So we're focusing on the one thing, the basic fundamental principle really of science of mind is that all thought is creative. All thought is creative, because out of consciousness flows everything that is. Everything has been made. Everything that was made is made out of consciousness, both at the divine level, at the infinite level, the spiritual level, as well as the human level. And now is the time for us to truly grasp that, because you and I have heard over and over again, at least many of us, and for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we're delighted to have you in our company. We're delighted to have you as part of our family, and thank you for being here. But we've heard, those of us who espouse the principles of science of mind and spirit and its practice of the heart, we've heard it over and over again, that there's a power for good in energy, a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we get to use it all the time as it uses us all of the time, because we are its outlet for its expression. Infinite intelligence expresses itself on three-dimensional planet Earth through you and through me, either consciously or unconsciously. And we want to be conscious of that we live in a spiritual universe. We live in a universe of energy, pure energy, phenomenal energy. We are alive in a field of unlimited energy as energy. We are all individual pulses of energy in that cosmic whole unlimited field of energy. That is the power that uses me, uses you, and that you and I get to use too in awesome ways. Now, the thing about that energy is, phenomenal though it be, infinitely intelligent though it be, infinitely and ever and always available to you and to me though it be, it can be used either positively or negatively, affirmatively or negatively. And it behooves us now, all of us, to be using that energy affirmatively, in a way that we are empowered through the use of that energy, that all of life is raised up and expanded and more energetic as a result of my conscious awareness of my thought processes, my thought behaviors, my thought habits. Because make no mistake about it, your life and my life and all of its circumstances and situations is deeply colored by the way I think, by the way you think, by the type of consciousness you entertain in mind, and I entertain in mind. So I would ask us all to look at the landscape of our minds right now. What is that like? My friends are used to me saying, what's the landscape of your mind looking like right now? Is your mind a safe place to be? Or is it a danger zone? What's going on in your mind, in your consciousness, in your heart, which is your inner mind, which is the deepest aspect of our thinking? Because all of us now could come higher. And if I be lifted up into that higher conscious awareness, can draw all kinds of good through me. I lift up mine eyes to the mountain from whence help comes to me. Metaphysically, what does that scripture verse mean? It means that when I lift my mind higher up into the great intelligent echelons of conscious society, I am empowered, strengthened, fortified, and awake enough to be affirming everything in life and living, and consequently providing for myself, creating for myself an awesome life, and as well as that, adding to the great collective consciousness this higher energy that picks it up and lifts it up and expands it to do likewise. That is the power of mind. And if ever there was a time you and I needs to be conscious of that, it is now. And sadly, a crisis is calling us higher. A crisis is asking us to be the tempered spiritual metal and steel that we are right now, and to have the faith of not only a mustard seed, but a mustard tree right now. Otherwise, what we're going to do is to allow our habitual way of thinking to keep us at a standstill. And what would that be? Oh, it's our habit to be anxious, to be uncertain, to be fearful, to be doubting. That's common human mindful behavior. Well, this now is not the time for any of that. We owe this now to all those who are putting their lives on the line, who feel the fear and do it anyway. Because human that we are, we will feel afraid. We will feel afraid. And we need to recognize that, and we need to honor that, and we need to be okay with allowing our humanity to feel afraid. But then, what we do is take what is our greatness, what is higher than that within us, to the fear, so that it can be assuaged and we can alleviate the human personality of ourselves to nevertheless go that extra mile anyway, because of that which is greater than we are. And again, we're reminded that which is in me, in us, at the center core of our being, is greater than any person, place, condition in the outer material world. This is the time to start contemplating that and to growing our faith in it and around it, and allowing ourselves to be of that spiritual fortitude that is in our spiritual DNA, that is ours to be, that we're already programmed to be. That's what we can do right here and right now. And so what usually causes the doubt and the fear and the anxiety and so on is truly what has been imprinted upon us since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. Very often you and I are responding in mind and feeling to something that was imprinted on us through our mothers or our fathers or our sisters or our brothers or our teachers or our bosses or whomsoever. How much of my response is my response and not something that has been imprinted upon me? An imprint is very, very powerful. I love Anthony DeMello. Read his books. They're full of stories. They're all full of fables and stories that have truth to them. And I shared one about the golden eagle the week before last. Well, there's another one in his book that talks about a lion who ends up in a sheep pen, believe it or not. So one day, this lion comes along and he's looking for a meal. And he comes along the sheep pen and he sees a lion in it. And he says, oh my goodness me, am I looking at a lion in a sheep pen? What's the lion doing in the sheep pen? So calm, cool, and collected. So he investigates. He goes to the sheep pen. The sheep are all quaking and shaking. And so is the lion in the sheep pen. And he walks up to the lion and says, what are you doing here? Why are you behaving like a sheep? He says, I am a sheep. He says, you're not a sheep. He says, I am a sheep. I grew up a sheep. I was taken care of by sheep. I am a sheep. He said, no, you're not a sheep. I am a sheep. He says, you're going to come with me now. He catches him by the mane. He clouts him on the mane softly. He says, follow me. So he's followed. So they get to a little lake. And he says, now look in there. And the lion looks into the lake and he sees the lion who has led him in the mirror of the lake, and he sees himself in the mirror of the lake, and he looks from one to the other, and the other back to the one, and the one to the other, and the other back to the one, and then he lifts up his head and he roars. And he was never the same again. He came to his senses, didn't he? He realized who he was. You think that story is about a lion and sheep? It's not. It's about you. It's about me. We're like a lion in a sheep pen, with all the feelings of all the persons, places, and things that have imprinted themselves upon us and gave us to think that we are this false identity, which we are not. We are more than we think we are, feel we are, or have experienced we are. Much more than that. Why? Because the power and the presence of the infinite itself, with all of its infinite intelligence, has endowed me with its own essence, with its own omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. Yes, believe it or not, you, me, are so endowed. We are the eagle in the hen's hutch. We are the lion in the sheep's den. When are we going to start realizing this? Well, I would say now would be a very good time. So, the dilemma is, do I hang on to my fear, my uncertainty, and my doubt, and my anxiety? Or do I shake it off and roar and allow that infinite force that is mine to demonstrate come through? That's what it means to be the outlet to the inlet of amazing grace. I have come that you may have life and have it in abundance, that your joy may be complete, and that you may know the peace that passes understanding. For I am with you as I have always been, and I shall always be with you. Wake up, listen, hear the word of truth, and not the illusionary gossip of humankind. Beautiful that we are. We can love gossip. Absolutely, we can love gossip. Good gossip. Like, did you know that 1,000 daffodils bloomed today in that little park across the street. How amazing is that? Come and let's look at it. Yes. What is it going to be? If not now, when? If not who? You. Yeah, you. Me. Believe it or not. All of life is depending upon you and me right now. But once we know of myself, I do nothing. It is the power and the presence of Spirit within me that does the work when I get out of its way and say, yes, move through me. I am your vehicle. I will drive you there. Hop in. I will get you there. But you have to do the work by means of me. Is that not a phenomenal thing to know? So the next time you feel sheepish, remember, you're a lion. And you are responsible for supporting the circle of life. And so am I. The next time you feel chicken, remember, you're a golden eagle and you can soar the heavens gracefully. This morning, as I awoke, and I had my window open, and I heard a pair of ducks flew across my window quacking. Happy to be ducks. Knew they were ducks. The water is theirs and the sky is theirs too. As I was coming down the steps this morning, new flowers had blossomed and bloomed on the steps in the pots all the way down, smiling up at me. Little pop-ups, forget-me-nots, and little daisies, and so on. All being what they are created to be, as nature is all the time pointing out to us, just be who and what you are. You are enough. You're more than enough. And stop all the comparing and contrasting. The only reason why we are anxious or fearful or whatever is because we think we are not enough. We're not yet cooked, we're not yet ready, we're not enough, we're not there yet. Well, yes, we are. There's only one path, and it's the path at this minute, right here, right now. And you're in it, you're on it. It's yours for the taking. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Stand up in your strength. Face into the storm. The eye is nearer than you might imagine, and keep moving. Keep moving. And whatever you're inspired to be, whatever you're inspired to do that is within protocol, do it and be it. You are awesomely powerful even if you are confined to your house all of the time. Never more powerful than you would be in any other circumstance or situation. You are that right here. You are that right now. Just you be it. The best thing you and I can do for the world right now to support it into its wholeness and its healing is to be all that we can be right where we are as we are, whatever that is. Be it. Strong and roaring and knowing I can because of the power and the presence that is within me. And I will do my part. I will come to the altar and lay my gift upon it gladly, eagerly, generously. I will do what I can do and what is mine to do. But more than that, I will be who and what I am. Yes, I will. And why? Because I am the breath in the breath of life. I am the pulse in the beat of life. I am that infinite point of light, power, force, and energy through which the infinite in all of its omni-essence chooses to express itself through me if I provide the outlet. The question is, my dear ones, will we? If not now, when? If not you and me, who? Who? There is none other. There is none other. If it's going to be, as our teaching says, it is up to me. The one within me, flowing through me, as I do what Meister Eckhart asked us all to do. Let God be God by means of you and me now. And so it is, my dear ones, and so it is. And so now we're going to have Reverend Catherine come, and she's going to share something wonderful with us, because you are part of this community, and we together as a community provide the opportunities for these things to happen. So I want to thank you for your goodness, your kindness, your generosity, all your kind and good thoughts, all your kind and good deeds, and your generous spirit. Thank you from the heart. Thank you. You are making the difference, but all of us individually can make a greater difference, and can you imagine what that difference will be collectively?